Holy
Hey
moly, there we
guys!
go.
Wow, we're live! Hey guys, it's Jess Stone, your real estate rock star, and I am here today with my good friend Brian Banks from Notre Dame Federal Credit Union. This is my very first live on my page, so please bear with us. This is going to be like really easy peasy. We're going to answer some questions about the shutdown and what the shutdown entails. So, you all know the government is shut down, closed, sit not open. It's, yeah, nothing's open. Well, there's a few things open, but
Yeah, not much, but some
not
things.
much, yeah. But so, but what does that mean for you guys in terms of mortgage and getting a mortgage? Well, that's what Brian's here to answer for us.
So we hope. So we hope.
You never know. We'll find out for sure. So okay, so what does it mean?
So there's a couple different things that will affect the process depending on the loan type. Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, you're not going to see too much change. The one thing you might see there is if you're trying to verify employment for a government worker, that could affect the loan process. But that's something that each lender will have to work through on an individual basis. VA loans should not see much effect, as VA, those who approve VA loans, their funding comes from the fees collected from the loan process. So funding should not be affected there. In terms of FHA, there may be a little less staffing available for FHA approvals, but once again, should not see any significant changes, maybe some backlog on turnaround time. In terms of transcripts, which a lot of lenders will request, I would expect we're going to see some delays there in terms of getting those transcripts for our consumers or our mortgage buyers.
Do you think that because essential IRS workers are the only ones that are working at the IRS right now, do you think that once the IRS opens up in February, it's going to be easier, or do you think it's still going to take a long time?
My guess, and this is just, that mainly will probably be for the purpose of this upcoming tax season. I don't know if it's going to be for a heavy load of continual transcript requests from mortgage lenders or lenders in general. But I would suspect you're going to see some delays there. Now, a lot of lenders may be flexible, especially if the borrower is not self-employed, to not require the transcript, ourselves included.
So that means they can just, like, if you get your taxes done, like at H&R Block or JR or
anywhere,
yeah, they can bring those. You guys can bring those transcripts in, and they'll take a peek at them.
Correct, but they won't be. You may not even have transcripts because IRS shut down. So it just depends. The USDA loans should be or are likely to be completely shut down. And then the other thing that some people have asked us about is flood insurance. After legislation was passed in December, flood insurance certificates should still be in good standing at least through till May, assuming the shutdown doesn't go beyond that date. So those are some of the key things that I've been asked, and you may be asked as a realtor or some of my colleague lenders out there that haven't took the time to kind of do their homework in terms of what this shutdown means to us as an industry as a whole.
Now, as far as the flood insurance is concerned, you guys might be kind of concerned that it's going to shut down in May, but FEMA isn't the only person that offers flood insurance. I can help you look up and find other people that offer flood insurance, so that's definitely an option for you guys. Oh, we have a viewer.
Hey, we got one.
Hi, person. Welcome to our show. So yeah, okay, back to the shutdown and how it's affecting. So your typical dealing with you and closing several loans over the past few months, you're running about 30 days to close a loan, which is like phenomenal, by the way, guys. This is like seriously cool. Hey Rob, how's it going? It's nice to see you. But so, okay, if it's going from 30 days, do you think it'll take longer than 45 days, which is kind of like the national average?
It shouldn't. I mean, to this point, we haven't gotten far enough into the shutdown to see any significant delays. I would say the bulk of, at least in terms of what I do, conventional lending, FHA, should not see any significant changes in turnaround time, especially if everything's handled, up front. And you kind of have your ducks in a row, for lack of better words. So realistically, that 30-day window should still hold true. The only difference would be is if we're working with, exactly. Like I mentioned, if it's a government worker or if they're self-employed and there's some questions on the taxes for transcript purposes, some of those things may have an effect, but obviously appraisals are still getting turned around in a normal time frame.
Yep.
We talked about the flood insurance. That shouldn't hold things up. Our wonderful title companies are still functioning. Agents and everybody are still on top of everything. So you're going to see some effects, but hopefully you don't let that be seen, hopefully, by the consumer if you don't have to. And you kind of keep things moving as if things were normal.
So let me kind of flip the switch a little bit. What about like interest rates, like during the shutdown?
So right now, interest rates actually have dropped for a mixture of reasons, and we won't get into too many of those details, but they have come down. So they're coming down to the consumer's benefit, which is wonderful. Hopefully, it'll help us see a rise in maybe some refinances for some of those consumers who kind of didn't get in. There you go. We'll talk about that later. That didn't get in while maybe some of the rates were even lower than they are now, but we saw a surprise drop, actually a pretty big drop this past week. And we may continue to see a little bit more as we go further into the shutdown.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So
right, especially since they've been talking about how interest rates are going to go up this year.
Well, we could still see a pretty significant jump because we saw a big drop. Rates are still historically great. I mean, ask anybody who's bought a mortgage 25 years ago what the rate was,
years ago,
and tell them what they are now.
Our parents were paying like crap.
10, 11, 12.
Yeah, if not more.
Yeah, I've heard
it just really depends. So
been a little spoiled, to say the least.
I know. I'll take it though.
Yeah, that's right. We have to because
if we can get gas prices down lower.
We're not going there today.
No,
that's a whole other conversation. So
politics is no.
Yeah. So I'm trying to think of some other things that may be that really covers the bulk of what I would say expands on the shutdown and how it'll affect us.
Now, one thing that we might see as far as the realtor side, the longer the shutdown goes on, the less buyers there are going to be because everybody's worrying about it. So sales are probably going to decline a little bit, but we have tight inventory already. I'm sure some of you already know if you've been trying to buy a house. I've had clients that have put in multiple offers and stuff just doesn't happen because they aren't competitive enough. Or sometimes we are competitive enough, we just don't, win. But with tight inventory, we're probably going to see even more of a decline. Stuff is going to get tighter. So if I'm taking you out or if another realtor's taking you out, if you see something, it's like my dad says, you like, you buy. So
Dad's a smart guy. I like that.
My dad he's hilarious. I gotta really do an interview with him on here sometime because he likes to invest in real estate. So
absolutely, there you go.
But I think it's gonna get tighter, but at the same time, we could flip to a buyer's market.
Yeah.
So
we could.
It really depends. I really want to see that inventory. So if you've been thinking about selling your house, give me a call.
And get those pre-approvals.
Yeah, and get the pre-approvals. Call Brian.
Yes, call me.
Or
call just quality. We have a lot of quality local lenders.
Yes, we have a lot of quality local lenders. Rob, who is watching, I know is a quality lender.
Mr. Goo, how are you? So yes, absolutely. That's wonderful information as well. Some good insight.
So the tax transcripts, the specific form that you guys asked for, the 45060. Yeah. There's no way that we're getting that. Right now.
That's what we brought up earlier. Was the difficulties we may have there. But once again, just to reiterate, that's something a lender can, electively waive to keep the transaction from being slowed down.
So if your lender's not waiving that, come see Brian.
Unless you're self-employed, then it's tough.
Yeah, unless you're self-employed like me,
it can be a little tricky. Yeah.
I would wait until the government opens.
Potentially. Yeah.
Potentially. Cross your fingers. So.
Well, guys.
That's all we got for today. So if you guys have any questions for me or for Brian, you can hit me up here on my Facebook page, or you can check out Brian on Facebook as well, or you can just email me and I'll pass it on, and who knows, maybe Brian and I will
help you out
in
the near future.
We'll have another little podcast.
We are not shut down.
Yeah, Neither am I. I'm
So-
working. So except in February.
That's
And
right.
I can't talk about that because I haven't told the kids yet. So shh, it's a secret. So thank you for watching. And yeah, like my page, like Brian's page, and I don't know.
Thank you.
Can you subscribe on here? I don't think you can subscribe.
No, you can't. Unfortunately,
Well,
you can't do that on here.
Once
But
once I post this on YouTube, you guys can subscribe to my channel on YouTube. So,
there you go. I don't have that. I'm pretty basic. So, but thank you for your time, everybody.
bye.